I was speaking to a group of teens of our center about the recent terrorist attack in California. Why are there such a monstrous people in the world? Asked me one of them. In our classes and discussion groups, I myself asked this question throughout the years many times to children and adults. The answers that I received were because they had a bad influence, because they are mentally ill, because their social or economic situation forced them to do all these things. How would you answer this question to your children? In many cases, terrorists can be mentally sick people, but not all of them have a psychiatric illness. Jews in Stadtler for centuries lived in poverty and did not become terrorists. A person can become monstrous not because he is taught to do bad things, but because he is not taught to do good things. People become villains not because they fall under bad influence, but because they do not fall under a good one. A person growing up in his zone, in a forest, will never become a moral individual. In order for a person to become good, he needs to be taught to be good. In the Western world, we have the luxury of living in an environment that has been educating people for centuries with certain standards of behavior. And these canons of behavior have become a norm for us. As a result, people began sometimes thinking that moral principles are obvious on their own or even natural to humans. Because of this, the teaching of these principles has lost its importance in the eyes of many people. If they're obvious, then why should they even be discussed? Why should parents tell their children about these principles of behavior? And why should children even listen to their parents teaching them? We are all good on our own. You just need to make sure that you don't have any bad influences, but good traits are natural. Answering the teenager's question, I explained that this is the reason why we in our synagogue and your parents and your teachers in school teach how to behave correctly. It is important for a child to understand that not everything that is natural is good. Villains are not mentally ill people, but those who are not taught to restrain their natural desires. Our natural desires are often purely animalistic. Talmud says that the greater a person is, the bigger is the animal within him. Rabbi Mendel of Kotsk said, to hold a bigger treasure, a coachman needs stronger horses. But woe to the coachman with this great treasure that travels wherever horses want to run.